panga break bread kudya mawu anu amene mnatipatsa otikhudza ife kumapeto a nthawi. Pamene tikupanga break this bread tifuna mukhale nafe, mutidzaze ndi mzimu wanu woyera. Wina aliyense paika kulino sangokhala ngati timango zachezayi, komabe tikathe kupindulapo ziwiri zitatu zotino zitibweza chifupi ndi mpando wanu, komanso mwina zitithandiza kukhala ready mu nthawi imene tikukhala ino, kuti mwina tingathe kudzuka ndi kukhala alert ku zimene zikuchitika ku dziko lapansi. Mutithandize, mwina aliyense paika, aliyense mukutidziwa zofowoka zathu, mutikhululukira aliyense machimo athu, mutitsuke. In the place mutidzaze ndi mzimu wanu, ndipo fill this place with your Holy Spirit. Muthamangitse Satana ndi angelo ake oyipa, koma muyike angelo anu olungama atizungulire. This place ikhale sanctified and presence yanu ikhale konkuno. Bless everything chimene tingapange share, every slide, every verse, every quotation imene ingawerengedwe ikhale ndi mdalitso wanu, kuti katokhala ndi mphamvu zanu with your life giving power, kuti ino ikathe kuti panga kutidzutsa mitima mwathu, ikathe kuti khudza mitima mwathu, kuti ikathe kuti sendeza ku chifupifupi ndi chipulumutso. Ine mkhale nane, mkhale ndi tonsefe, m'dzina la Yesu Khristu apemphera. Amen.
Amen.
Alright, so timati tingoyamba hapo, kenako as I said, I'll be watching the clock apopo. Tikandika short break penabake timwati, and then we continue. So this is not the title of the presentation. Presentation made number Friday. Title again in the closing scenes of Earth's history. You remember it? In the closing scenes of Earth's history. And tidaonetsa kunena kuti ever since 2020 tinalowa in the closing scenes of Earth's history. And then what we're doing, tidambochita ndikungoonetsano umboni after umboni, onetsa kuti abayenda alongo silukhala in an ordinary time, koma tukhala kumalekezero kwenikweni kwa nthawi, kumapero kwenikweni kwa dziko. So in this presentation, it's the same thing. We will be looking at prophecy. Chifukwa yoti Mulungu anena kuti you have a sure word of prophecy. Akuti prophecy is like a torch, like a light, imene ikupanga shine into a dark place. Are we together? So ati prophecy lingati chitochi chilaiti choti mwachiunika kumalo oti kulindima. Anthu pano pali mundima, they don't know what's going on, they don't know kuti the world yatsanzika is already coming to an end, sakudziwa. The prophecy ndi imene imakupatsa ni light yokuonetsani kuti muli apapa in the stream of time. Imatidziwitsa where we are. And if you remember on Friday, ngati mukumbuka bwino tinawerenga quotation ina yake yonena kuti no tiyena kupanga study Matthew chapter 24. You remember? Matthew 24 is an important chapter. Akuti ma ministers and teachers awauze anthu zimene zidalembedwa mu Matthew chapter 24. So most of the things zimene tikukambirana apapa zikhala zoti no za chokera mu Matthew chapter 24, komano magnified, zangupangidwa magnify kuti no tizione in detail. You can imagine my presentation imene hii is actually on one verse, Matthew 24 verse 7. Koma Friday tinayamba sidamaliza. Apa tipitiriza koma sitiraniso sitimaliza. Verse 7 here. I'm talking about verse 10, 7. You discover kuti it's details ambiri, packed with so many details. Zomwe Mulungu afuna kuti atiululire. Pemphanga ndongo Mulungu akhale nafe mofati adera kutipatsa understanding kuti zitithandizire moyo wathu wauzimu. Ndi chifundo cha Mulungu chomwe, ndi providence ya Mulungu. It's not a mistake. kuti mabwera kuti you are here. Moti na dandaula kuti no khope zina zadzulo ndaziona kuti sizinafike zina right dandaula kwambiri panja kuti zina ndi zina ziphonya zoti no amene amwina amvere limodzi koma I'm sure anzawo amene amva akhoza kupanga relate. As I said, this is not the chapter, but I want to show you a video. I want to show you a video. Video yo ndi munthu woti akuti amakhala ndi ma communication ndi ma extraterrestrial. Now, if you and me are Bible believers or Bible students and we believe mzimu wachinenero, we know kuti ma extraterrestrial amene aliko ndi mulungu ndi angelo ake ndi ma unfallen worlds. Mwina mnamva kuzoti kuli maiko ena amene aliko analengedwa Satana anapita kwa Yesu sanaje nawo chipatso, right? Sanachimwe wa njira ina. So those are the extraterrestrials we know. So when a person on earth claims kuti akukhala ndi conversation ndi ma extraterrestrial, just put a question mark. I don't think those are extraterrestrials as in ma alien, right? Ma alien amene kwadziwawa. Koma those should most likely be they should be demons. Those are communications from demons. Now, do you find what these demons or extraterrestrials communicated to this person as we are starting? Oh, by the way, ndipeleke warning, kuna kuti tigwiritsitse presentation ni mulizambi zotiphunzira, right? So hold on tight, fasten your seat belts. Tumvanet, this is the end and D2. Akuti we have a lot to learn, a little time to learn it. So just fasten your seat belts. I'm sure mzimu wa Mulungu utikokeramo kuti timvetsetse. So there will be a lot of things to discuss and to learn.
Peruvian author and researcher who has experienced multiple direct contacts with an extraterrestrial species.
By the way, Abaso, there's a seat if you want to sit for Bonica. We know.
Punians. Today we are talking about alien agendas. Ricardo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Before I continue, as Ricardo had interactions with aliens, now watch what it says.
Have the Punians shared with you anything about the upcoming future?
These beings have talked to us about many things, about the different possibilities in what we call future. They told us that humanity was going to face a series of difficult processes at this time, where we would face climate changes that would...
Hello? We would face climate changes. Okay.
More intense with time. Wars in places that have important energy interests for major powers. Plagues and diseases and attempting to successfully overcome them. When we speak of Spanish flu, which happened long ago and killed close to 60 million people, and we're talking about 1918, and when you analyze those circumstances that happened on the planet, they seem so long ago, and that they could not happen again. Like an unimaginable story. That couldn't have happened. It won't happen again. This generation is living through it now. Of course, with fewer deaths than with what we call the Spanish flu, but a good portion of the world shut down, full of fear and worry, the economy being destroyed in this global world, and it's taken us time to face this pandemic or whatever. What would happen if we add major climate change to this? That would affect our resources, our food. All these things are happening now, and the extraterrestrials that are in contact with us had already warned us that between 2020 and 2027...
Hello? Come on, are we hearing what these aliens are saying?
Yes.
Okay.
...to be key years for our species.
I said...
The years between 2020 and 2027 are the key years. He's claiming these communications are from extraterrestrials. Zikumamuza kukhala a lot of climate change which will affect our food, kukhala pestilence and plagues. Key years are 2020 to 2027. That's why I really believe that these are not extraterrestrials or aliens. These are beings who know the time. Intelligent beings. Zoti nthawi zikutani? Zikudziwa nditu nthawi zikudziwa nyengo. Let's play the next one.
Quickly before I go on, let's hear what he has to say, then I'll pause and I'll pray. Get into my short study.
Interesting detail that I would like to share. I've been talking about this for many years. It's in several documentaries, on TV, in my books. You know that here in the United States, a countdown clock was set up in New York City, in the middle of Manhattan. A climate clock.
By the way, this climate clock? Climate clock? It's counting down as we speak. Guess what the deadline for that climate clock is? 2027. It's in New York City. Now, the deadline yajan, I wouldn't the deadline ya climate. If we don't do anything about the climate by that date, the world is so gonegera chifua cha kusintha wajani. So if you're ngati the level presentation now what are they? Is this the end? I recommend kuti mugaitani mugainvetse. Because this same time frame ikupanga coincide ndi time frame inaso then on the spot. Koma amene angafurukozeni bwino ndi water vethio facha nthawi sitithawi yitolowa ko in details.
Marking the point of no return, the deadline, the year 2027. And they put it there in New York City, right in front of our nose. The United Nations models also specify the year 2025 to 2027 for action to be taken. If
the year 2025 to 2027 for what to be taken? Action. For action to be taken.
We're in for trouble. So we're living in the years of great transformation, the great change. And
actually, we're living in the years of great transformation and great changes. And indeed, so many great changes are taking place.
To face it without fear, because fear will control you.
What year do you...
So, that's what this man, Gonzalez, says good is umamuzi as my extraterrestrial. Koma, in my belief, ndungona kuti zimene zozo, is my extraterrestrial. Those are communications from spirits which know the time and know what is going to happen. And more not these years, 2020 figure the entire many these years. I'm telling you, even as we're going forward these years, and these years, these are very critical years. More now, so as we're going to 2023, 2024, 2025, as we're going forward, it's more intense and more intense. Tiona great changes. What is it? That's one also Mombado Watu. So what we're going to do? We'll touch on digital economy, kind of as I promised. Then I would we'll take a break. Since we want to be able to outfitting is why I did a branch. Can you break you? Okay, Revelation 13 verse 16. Before I compare is digital economy. Revelation 13 verse 16. Bible kuti. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand. Can it with or in their foreheads? And can ya mark of the beast. Kapena kuti National Sunday Law. Amena kupereka ichichi chonchi kupereka mark kwa anthu kuti alesalandire kandu olemera ndi osauka. This is the country, the United States of America. Chirombo chimene chidaduluka pa nthaka cha nyanga ziwiri. Mwachidziweni. Verse 17. Akuti, and that no man may buy or sell. Now, tipunzione akuti economy is not yet fully here. Are we together? Because right now, tikuta kupita mu shop ndikumagula popanda ma conditions enieni ambiri. Mwanjira ina ngati yango yamba, right? koma sina bebe bwinobwino economy imeneyi. So this one is a new economy. So akuti no man may buy or sell. Kupatulapo amene ali ndi mark kapena dzina kapena nambala. Ndeno verse 18 akuti apa pali nzeru. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man. Then move. His number is 666. It's very interesting about buying down. Pay attention. It's very interesting. Kuti mark, name, ndi nambala zili mu context ya no buy, no chani, no sell. Are we together? Meaning kuti opanda mark suzatha kugula kapena kutani kugulitsa, opanda dzina suzatha kugula kapena kutani kugulitsa, opanda nambala suzatha kugula kapena kutani kugulitsa. The nambalayo pa verse 18 akuti fotokozera koma nambalayo ndi 666. Zimene akuti fotokozera pamenepo. Kuti no, that's how it's going to be. So, funso njoti, is this the current economy? Mona kuti it's in a baby economy, meaning it's not fully in place. In order to usher in this type of economy, we need a new economy. Kubwere economy yatsopano. Now, kuti kubwere economy yatsopano, the old economy must fail or crash. Then people will accept the new economy. Ndimene amagwira ntchito all the time, these people. Amapanga problem, reaction, solution. Amafuna kuti chinthu chonyawanira chikamabwera chibwere as a solution. Pamene chimalandilika bwino. Are we together? Ozo chingobwera palibe vuto lilonse landirani athambira chita achikana. Komano amafuna chibwere as a solution. So that's the same thing. Kuti the old economy must fail and crash. Kena kwa anthu avomera kuti tufunika a new economy. So far so good, eh? The Pope akuti he calls for new world order. But Pope, I wonder sometimes we could hear have a mistake of people to call for a new world order. Says wasting COVID crisis would be worse than pandemic. No, if you waste the COVID crisis, it would be worse than the pandemic. It's interesting when you look to one verse in like it's a globe. Now morning I see the presentation, but oh, the about this verse. With the 666 indeed is connected. To ona kuti 666 is connected to nkhani dia ndalama kapena kuti nkhani ya economy. 2 Chronicles 9 verse 13 Bible ikuti, now the weight of gold came to Solomon in 1 year. Akuti was 636 talents of gold. The same number imene ili pa Revelation 13 verse 18, eh? The weight. Now Bible book is so inspired, zimangochitika coincidental. Katumvana kaya Mungu sama nkhaura ngopanga zinthu. Coincidences are rare. There akuti weight ya golide ya Solomon inali 666. Ena amanduza and I think in andalama amavanga comment una kuti okay, let me just go forward. The weight of the gold is 666. The number of the beast ku Revelation number like so kaso yani 666. So it's very interesting. Chifukwa choti ufumu umene uli pa chikumbutso 13 paja ndi ufumu wa chipapa, right? Uchiona tuluka pa madzi uche. Ndi ufumu omwewo tamvetsera mofatsa, ndi ufumu omwewo uli pa Daniel 11 ngati mfumu ya kumpoto, King of the North. Katumvana ka? King of the North ndi papacy, Vatican. Tumvane? In Daniel 11, the Bible says kuti they will have power. Kuti mfumu ya kumpoto kapena kuti papacy izakhala ndi power kapena kuti control over the gold. And in another place tukupeza kuti the weight of that gold was 666. tiona kunena kuti papase chimene akufuna apange weaponize money. Are we together? Money ikhala weapon chida. Katumvana kana chida choti no anthu achigwiritse ntchito kuti anthu apange bow down kupanga worship the beast. So far so good, eh? So far so good. Okay. So the gold was equals 66 and the gold equals money. Daniel 11 verse 43. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, and over the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. So you see, the king of the north, Papa say will have power over the economy. So that we talk about kanyanga kangona kachifake maprofeta chakakaona amapanga nako marvel kuti kanyanga kameneka kangono ngono chonchi koma controlling the economy. A church, a religious power, having power over the gold, over the money. The king of the north equals Papa say, and having power or control over the gold and over the money. So a new currency Abindalongo is on the horizon. I want to assure you this evening, this economy, the mene ikubeleza no buy, no sell. Ya mark of the beast. This new economy, this new currency, the mene no zita watekere, kuti now we are ready. So these are some of the changes mene zimafunika zichitike prior to the national Sunday law. No wonder the Sunday law imakanga divangidwa delay. Because zina sizinakateka properly with the current things. Say for example, how do you control paper money oti lintumba mwa muntu? Munga ibloke bwanji kapena munga mukanize bwanji. Ili ndi ma implication ake ena diena.
Overstuffed wallets in your back pocket or purse might soon come to an end. By 2020, mobile wallets on our smartphones are expected to surpass the use of credit and debit cards in the U.S. That has already happened in China. Then Tracy is in Beijing to show us what a nearly cashless society actually looks like. Ben, good morning.
So this video maybe around 3 or 4 years ago, showing kuti China, the people are already using.
Good morning. So when I moved here to China a couple of months ago, I kept getting funny looks every time I would pull cash out of my wallet to pay for things. And then I got one of these. It's a code on my phone, and now I can basically buy anything here in China.
I want you to observe.
When you pay for something, how do you pay for it?
Mobile phone.
On the streets of Beijing, cash is definitely not king.
What do you think of people who use cash to pay for things?
That's rare and weird, he says. Only the elderly and people who don't know how to use a phone pay cash. This woman says, I rarely take my wallet when I go out, just my phone. That's because those phones can buy just about anything, from clothes in the store to steamed buns on the street. They're used to pay for bike rides and bus rides, rent and utility bills.
When was the last time you used cash? A month ago? Wow, that's a long time.
WeChat and Alipay dominate China's mobile market, and payments on their platforms totaled more than 5.5.
So, you can see Gudanzatu, they are already in transition.
Cash is going out of fashion.
Alikale need to akupanga practice this digital economy. I'll show you posa ida bomba, just be patient. Kuti no zimoneka ngati kumalawi zinthu ngati sizingafike, moneka ngati for advanced countries, khala ndi pomwepo tione remotes.
China. Replacing it is the digital wallet. So prevalent, it's almost possible to get by with just your phone, as long as it's loaded with the right apps. This is how many people in Beijing start their day. Breakfast on the go.
I'm going to get myself a jianbing or crepe for breakfast. And instead of my purse, I've got my phone. Slide, here you go. Now the next step is...
Look at that. Gula zinthu pa ukanga ngati pa chiwaya chonche. Koma palichija chi QR code, by QR code.
For the QR or quick response code, a two-dimensional barcode designed to be read by mobile phone cameras. To pay, I simply open the app I want, scan the QR code, enter the amount, complete the transaction.
Digital payment can be used almost anywhere for almost
Imagine paying digitally. These things zikuthamanga kwambiri.
Sweden is fed up with cash. It's a hassle to carry around, it can easily be stolen or misplaced, and frankly, no one is using it anymore. 10 years ago, just about 40...
Nobody's using it anymore. Sweden.
Their population was paying with cash, and now, only 6%. So what's their answer? To go completely cashless by March of 2023. They're even planning a crypto...
Go completely cashless by which year? March 2023. By the way, March is the end of summer. What do you mean about summer? Summer? Okay. That's why I'm doing the business like I said someone is not here. Yeah, okay.
E-kroner for use starting this year. Folks, this is happening, and it's happening fast. Time to learn about Sweden.
This is happening, and it's happening then. Very fast. It's happening very fast.
Cashless plans, and discuss if this could become a worldwide trend. At first glance,
this could become a worldwide trend. Could it just go cashless? You know, in the city of Blantyre, there's a chikwangwani choti takaruma chiona kuma this time it nabuyano with the 4C nage cha NBS. I think karuma chiona amati why cash something like that why cha go digital amati go digital go digital if even NBS is why now chechi kulu nditu nen achimenda ona ndudu some plan cha NBS so you know have you heard about the subliminal messages chintungo chikhazika you know because mona ngati you don't care about that koma uchiona and it's talking to you kuti iwe go digital go chani go digital. That's where we are going, that's where we are heading. Koma iyo ni platform chabe chifukwa choti no chilombo chikufuna chidzagwiritse ntchito currency imeneyo kudzawaletsa anthu kugula kapena kutani kapena kugulitsa. That's the whole issue here. So the old economy must fail, then people can accept this new economy. History repeats itself. Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. There is nothing new under the sun. Ali kulibe kanthu katsopano. Mutanthauza chani kuti izizi zinaonekako kale in history zoti economy kupanga fail kapena kupanga crash kodi zinachitikapo kale in history. Bible rules kuti akuti is there anything whereof it may be said, see this is new. Ati munga mnene choncho kuti chinchanyowa. Bible ikuza kuti hii imandikuonetseni njira pachi chidachitikapo kale nthawi ya nyowa. Makumbuka dzulo ija kuti no mukamba nkhani ya transhumanism. Nakumbukira kuti one of the reasons why Mulungu adatumiza flood nthawi ya Noah is because iso anthu amachita zosimbwa tikuzolera amalgamation kumaphatikiza chinyama ndi ndani ndi munthu, and it's one of the reasons why God said this is too much. Nkutumiza chani nuts. So there's nothing new under the jani, nothing new under the sun. So now Genesis 47 verse 14, and Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they brought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house, right? Verse 15, Naguti. And when money did what?
Failed.
Money failed. Dauti drama yakanganya no.
Economic crash.
Crash, right? Drama ikulepela, it's no longer powerful. So when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us thy bread. For why should we die in thy presence? They don't understand. For the money failed. Meaning, I don't know whether you have connected me, Kuti connection, drama yalepera, which we can call inflation, is linked. Kulepera kwa drama is linked with food. Because anthu aja kuti tipase nchakuja koma the reason akunena kuti tipase nchakuja akuloza kuja sakuloza kuma garden kuti ma garden athu koma amadalira kutani kula you know there's a warning in the Bible. Koma, so Zambi. Do you know kuti in Bible inakamba issue imene kuti odalira kugula. Be careful. Odalira kutani? Kugula. Be careful. That's us. That's us, eh? That's us. We really need to learn to...
Have you heard about Will Rogers? He was a legendary comedian in the 1920s and 30s. Around the time of the Great Depression, Rogers had a great one-liner about the economy. He said, invest in inflation. It is the only thing going up.
I would invest in inflation is the only thing going, Johnny. It's happening right now, right? It's happening right now.
Sad but true. Almost a century later, his jokes still make sense. Inflation is setting records everywhere. I'll begin with some numbers. American inflation is at 8%.
Actually, I'm going to see experts predict recession in 2021.
That's a 40-year high. Canadian inflation is at 6.8%. That's a 31-year high. In Britain, inflation has topped 9%, the highest in 40 years. And here in India, wholesale inflation has reached 15.08%, the highest in 9 years.
So this is a cost of living crisis, and it's happening now. Darama, it will fail us. It's failing. It's failing. What do you think people do? People say, give us chani, food. Drama yarani, yabanga fail. What will the devil do? I use an opportunity if you want to food, remember what he told Jesus. What did he tell Jesus? So says, what should you do? Bow down. The beast hello? Luke 21 verse 25 Yesu anaperekanso another sign. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Now, Bible limafunika, Mrs. White and encourage good surface readers will be lost. Surface readers will be what? We should not read on the journey. Chifua certain truths Mungu wazibisa deep and are only found kwa antamena kudani akukumba. Hello? Command halipo? Okay, thank you so much. So, mawadi perplexity to akumbe deep. Mawadi perplexity aguti mawa mene wawa mu Strong's concordance. Mawadi perplexity akutoka from the word aporia. Ukabena kundofana ndi the aporia. They're the same as aporio. Now aporio, what does it mean? Aporio, aporia is perplexity, anxiety, doubt. From the same as aporio, which is a quandary. Let's go forward. Definition ya aporio ni mene. Aporio, definition is to be without what?
Resources.
To be without resources. To be in straits. To be left how? Wanting that we lacking it. To be embarrassed. Financially embarrassed. Financially embarrassed. To be in doubt. Not to know which way to turn. That's what this economic crisis many years have on. This minister jidigi and to we're in perplexity. Ndima ngabwaji. Ndarama. You know, when a recession like that happens, matter to lose and drama, we need a million, whether in zero. And then Mutumadali Agudi drama, money is power, let's be honest. So that you can drama go back to just depending Gudi is to nage chicos on the promotion and emergency. Come emergency here where drama also Paja Balibi. And you are stuck wherever you are. Are we following so far? That's why yes or no, there will be perplexity. There will be perplexity. People will be without resources. There will be an economic crisis. And just what the Bible says, the prophet says the same thing. Look at what she said. I was shown the inhabitants of the earth in the utmost confusion. Now, I was shown, stand up. Hello? When she says I was shown, what should you do? Stand up. chifukwa imene si opinion yake ndekuti anaonetsedwa. It was a vision. I was showing the inhabitants of the earth in the utmost confusion, war, bloodshed, and then privation. So honestly, mao ndinkawerenga koma saname sinikazota amatanthauza chani weniweni. Makamuyandika ndika clue koma tsiku naike nangoti ndizichepese. By the way, mukamapanga zimene zili ndi mawu Mulungu umaphunzira zambiri. Umene uzichepese ngati kuti sukudziwa kutanthauza kwake. Tumvane? Then Mulungu amakulankhula zambiri. So what I did, I said, Ambuye, what is privation? What is privation? Imene Ellen White anachita kuonetsedwa, right? I was shown kuti anthu in privation. So at privation, want, famine, and pestilence were abroad in the land. What is privation? The state of being deprived. Particularly, deprivation or absence of what is necessary for what?
For comfort.
That's what she was what? Shown. Do you think amadona tili kuno? Kuchilipa? Munyumba muno? Tili pa sofa? Where do you think amaona tumewa? Mnaona yako mashow ngati ma survival shows, ma discovery, makondo kama survival shows, mnaona tu? Kuti amakhala kungopanga mimiki kuzizati zachitika kuti ali kuchire. You only have a knife, a few tools, then they are surviving. I'm sure those are some of the things that she saw. Atakudula mitengo kumanga timashelter, ama adula mdoli mitengo kuchola masamba kumanga kajani kashelter, basi kungopanga pangati nkuni moto ndumelo matentesa usiku. Right? No blankets. And people tap out of those shows, right? They tap out to eat. After 10 days akakhala mono sindingakwanitse kuti ndigona pa the blanket udzudzu kuluma. So that's what the word privation means. We're coming to
my father was an advisor to Nixon when they.
We're coming to a close of this session. I'll give you a break. The tea is ready. Before we close, let's watch some of these few eye-opening videos. Mulungu afuna kuti tsegula maso kuti tisakale akhungu in these times. Tikale wide awake as to what's happening pa dziko lapansi. This is a world government summit. And it's amazing. My video again, they are on YouTube. They don't even hide these things. It's like they know in plain to hide a thing you have to hide it in plain sight. Summit hii inachitika chaka chomwe chino. Kunapita ma world leaders aku Arab world ku chanchan kunali anthu ambiri mpiri important people. And there were topics that they were discussing. In fact, I discovered that this summit hii machitika nditu I think chaka kome machitika time after time. And they were there discussing things. Now session hii, guess what the title of this session was? Is the world ready for a new world order? In plain sight, no kubisira muntu. Are you ready for a new world order? They atamakambirana. Then one of the participants nduyuyu. Zimayu demumve zimene analankula.
The gold standard in 71, and so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we're on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy.
I believe we're about to abandon the old system. So there. And I will say this journey boldly. Why would you say that? You know, this men do find every day. I will say this boldly. We are to see our old system, a new system is coming, and it blockchain. Digital. Every transaction can be followed up. So my advantage by the way, I can assure you, kuti china chilichonse chimene atapange introduce, including Sunday rest, per surface everything is a good idea. Hello? Everything is a good idea. Chindi ma advantage yake. Ndiye ife tikamazakana tifake dziko lonse lizadana nacho kuti inuyo inu simufuna kusamalira chilengedwe chizumezi uchitikazi. Digital money is very good money. Kwambiri so maunene amo ija yaku Sweden ija I think anapanga introduce anapanga no interview, sorry, not introduce, anapanga interview a certain family basi kumaonetsa bambo ndi mwana mmene bambo amaperekera pocket money kwa mwana zabwino zonse kuti abambo aja is able to track what the kid Jan buys, so mwana sanga magule zinthu za mischievous kumbali, because all the money mwana ampasa pocket money, all the records will show whatever the child bought. So many nice advantages. I'm telling you, the things that will come in the new world order will be so attractive, or even the metaverse so attractive. Munaona kuphunzira kuja kuphwekesa umangoona ma planet umangozunguliza ichi kuona Jupiter, nice, beautiful. Koma mavuto ali. So this is what this woman was saying.
Give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a...
So that's that. Well, digital currency, digital economy.
Some free money? Excuse me, would you like some free...
This video was posted around 4 years ago by YouTube. Ikugamba za universal basic income. Ndifuna tiimvetsere more facts. Now, this is what antu ankane na mwa conspiracy kuti mu new world order kutakhala universal jani basic income, antu amanga plan kuti muzakhala universal basic income. Koma now, this is CNBC, a very credible news company, ikufotokoza what is universal basic income. Let's play move.
Free money? No? Free money?
Free money.
It's free.
Some from a friend too.
You can take some for your friend.
Okay, thank you.
Would you like some free money, sir? Okay. Wow, we've got a lot of takers here. Handing out free money sounds like a pretty radical idea, but it's actually an economic concept gaining a lot of traction around the world. We're talking about universal basic income. Universal basic income is pretty much what the name suggests, an income for everyone in the form of a cash transfer. No strings attached.
Are we paying attention? Please pay attention.
Finland is among a handful of countries experimenting with universal basic income as a way to address unemployment in the country. Fictional character Lena. She works in a salmon factory in Finland. Then an economic downturn hits.
Then an economic downturn hits. I'll give an example of universal basic income.
To buy as much salmon, and Lena loses her job. Under the universal basic income scheme, Lena would get around $650 a month. She can use that $650 to cover living expenses while she looks for a new job. But even once she gets a new job, she would continue to receive the cash. A key feature of the universal basic income is that you can spend the money however you like. So in the Finland example, you could take that $650 and spend it on about a third of month's rent here in Helsinki, or you could spend it on 100 cans of smoked herring and 26 bottles of red mulled wine mix. We'll take 26 of these, please. The idea of handing out cash to every citizen isn't new. Philosopher Thomas Paine proposed the idea of payments to every person all the way back in 1797. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for a guaranteed income in the 1960s, and even free market champion Milton Friedman endorsed the negative income tax, similar to basic income, as a way to reduce welfare costs and bureaucracy. But lately, tech titans in Silicon Valley, like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, are...
imapita kumene niwafuna mumve pena ndi pena. Okay, so that is our call to our break. We will continue from there. Universal, tukambia za universal basic income. 30 minutes achoke. Pamene tikoza kupita no for the break tikamwe tizambira pompo. Tiumve kuti kodi universal basic income. Akuti it's free money, munamve? Free money, akuti with no strings, jani? How do you know? I wonder, can the devil give you something without strings attached? I wonder. Masungu hapa sana tundama za ulele. Professing to be good.
Everybody. Yes, that's the idea of professing. Then we attach strings later.
Yeah, actually that's the trick. Ukakomedwa nacho, kena kama zati no. You remember me just even by internet. Ukapanga umva free free 1 month. Kena kumva ijuwena ugule. Basi kana yake ndicho. Anyway, TViliza TNT fige huko break. While we organize with the genset bank